We play where
This
the
meeting
answer
is being
is
recorded.
always tonight. Tonight we will be playing Blades in the Dark, an RPG written by John Harper and published by Evil Hat Productions, with whom we have no association but are huge fans. Tonight we will be continuing the dark, depressing tale of three scoundrels who have been suddenly swept up into things that are far beyond them. Introducing our actors and characters from, I believe, top to bottom. I'm not looking at the... first up is Paige McCay, our producer and the CEO of Three Ravens Productions, an indie film company meant to giving everyone a voice. She will be portraying Barnum the Cutter, a violent acrobat whose circus was burned down with her family still inside by a group of bluecoats, that is the town guard, for those of you unfamiliar with Blades in the Dark. She tracked down the ringleader of the group who committed the deed to the Greycloaks, a group of former bluecoats turned turncoats, and the group managed to slay him in a brutally grotesque manner, making them the target for the leader of the Greycloaks, Ness, a one-eyed woman who has an unhealthy obsession with Barnum for some reason. And unfortunately for Barnum, it's not at all sexual in nature. She was nearly killed, Barnum, that is, and in her stupor was visited by a vision of a younger version of herself in a black cloak that introduced herself as Okira. Okira brought a warning that nefarious deeds were at work around a rift in the Dagger Isles that could seek to unravel the world. And at Barnum's behest, the group has pursued this alleged mysterious threat. How are you doing, Paige / Barnum?
We're chasing phantoms right now, so it does feel a little Ghostbuster-esque. Do we have Ghostbusters in this realm? We have Ghostbusters in this realm. Canon.
We do now.
We are the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
New profession. Being a scoundrel doesn't cut it. Let's be the Ghostbusters. Thank you very much, Paige. And of course, we have the beautiful Victor Rivera playing Thingama the Leech, a brilliant, demented engineer whose interest and pursuit of an alternate fuel source to Leviathan blood, the substance that powers the gates protecting the city from demons and ghosts and pretty much all electric things in Duskfall. That is the city that this game takes place, but not today. Focus. Took him too close to the Leviathan hunters, who would lose business if he succeeded at his task because no one would need to go out and hunt Leviathans for their blood anymore. He was injected with a substance, and since then is highly addicted to every substance at the expense of his once intact sanity. He managed to get some form of vengeance on Lady Clav, the leader of the Leviathan hunters, who betrayed him and was the person who injected him with said substance. How many times am I going to say that word? He had finally cornered her to where she was unable to flee. However, her final fate remains unknown to us and the audience, as Victor will get to decide that next time we choose to revisit that particular plot point. How are you, Victor Thingama?
I made this, so it's a wrench and then 2 screwdrivers.
That doesn't seem practical. How would that? What does that do? I don't.
Thank you.
And finally, we have Jacob Skinner, a long-term friend of mine and actor, who is portraying today Vega the Lurk, a former noble whose lands and titles in the Dagger Isles were taken from him the night that his father was killed in a shady business deal. And the titles were taken by one name, a mysterious Lord Scurlock. Our scoundrels are currently at his childhood home, a manor on the coast of an island in the Dagger Isles. Whether he's ready to or not, Vega will be confronting his past and what's become of everything he once knew. How are you feeling, Jacob / Vega?
I'm not nervous in the slightest.
I'll correct that, don't you worry. Last session was actually a flashback episode, as Vega and Thingama acquired a star map in exchange for an owed favor to another gang that should be completed as soon as they return, or else they will face brutal consequences. This map would allow them to get to the Dagger Isles without losing themselves in the pitch black, endless void sea, in which the sky and sea horizon blend together in an endless ocean of untraceable stars. Upon arriving at the Valentine Manor, the group found that people were at work on some mysterious project underneath. Inside the manor, they were greeted by a butler. I don't remember. Did I name him? I don't. He's the butler. who Vega knew from childhood, but who pretended not to recognize him, or maybe genuinely didn't, but I doubt that's the case myself. But what do I know? While he went to arrange a meeting for them with the current Lord of the Manor, Vega and Thingama decided to sneak off to find this possible rift they've heard about without having to deal with Scurlock if they can avoid it. After Vega almost died to a floor trap, very D&D style floor trap, that certainly wasn't there in his youth, they arrived in the cellar, where a massive archaeological dig of sorts was occurring around a huge stone platform, half buried in the ground, that had arcane runes etched all around the perimeter. Meanwhile, Barnum is put before Lord Scurlock, an eccentric asshole who genuinely believes the entire world belongs to him and exists for his pleasure. He states his goal is to be the ruler of the new world after this one ends. Again. And he offered Barnum a place beneath him as one of the survivors of this new world. She declined, and he showed his true form as a snarling, fanged beast as he attacked her, and she barely held him off, just for now. They now stand at an impasse in a large, dusty, ancient study, and that's about where we left off. Currently, our two boys are facing this weird archaeological dig, and Barnum is once again put one-on-one in the possible fight of her life. So without further ado, Jake, this episode is all relating to your backstory, so please tell us the name of this episode.
Honey, I'm home.
Ain't you just. All right, roll that intro. All right, so if you will, let's go ahead and continue off with where Barnum was, because I'm sure that is where the most anticipation is currently being held. Her situation is quite deadly. This man is standing across from her, this goateed man. He's calmed down a bit since finding that he couldn't immediately get rid of Barnum. He's now in more of a relative human form. He looks almost like a regular aristocratic man. But nonetheless, he currently paces around Barnum, looking at him fascinated, like a tiger playing with its prey. And you have denied his request to join him, Barnum, so what's your next move?
Just try to turn me into a vampire.
A little bit.
Okay, I'm just making sure I didn't make that up or something.
No, he tried to, you failed a roll, I believe, and he grabbed you and bared your neck to him and went to bite, and you spent your special armor to avoid that harm.
That's what happened.
He paces around you luxuriously, as if he has all the time in the world, just taking long strides, arrogant and cocky, clearly. He tells you, you could get a lot out of this arrangement. It's a lot better than the alternative.
What's the arrangement exactly? We keep talking about a new world. It sounds very boring, frankly.
Oh, that's the thing. This world is the boring one, I assure you. This new one. I've been thinking about this for a long time, a few hundred years, and I do believe I've plotted out everything almost perfectly. There's just a few loose ends left to take care of.
What's the point in turning me to a vampire then? I'm assuming that's what you were about to do. And
well, because you didn't want to come willingly. It was the only alternative.
I would come as a vampire?
Well, no, not necessarily. More like a thrall. It's hard to explain. You'd be like a vampire, but my thrall. You'd serve me, and work at the behest of whatever my mind can concoct. It's really neat. Watch, let me show you.
No,
And
that's
he's-
good.
He stares at the doorway and it opens and the butler walks in. Yes, sir. And Scurlock says, nothing, leave. Yes, sir. And he closes the door and he looks at you. I didn't snap my fingers. I didn't do anything. You saw that, right? That's the power I have. You've never seen that before. Don't you lie to me.
You're taking away people's will. You're taking their will away.
Oh, what's that? People do that every day. You do that to each other all the time. You live in Duskfall, the city where will is stolen at a whim, where people are born without the option of having it in the first place. It's frankly hypocritical to accuse me of any worse misdeeds than the ones that you commit every day. If you kill a man, are you not stealing his will to live? In a sense.
I have good reason. He was probably a grey coat.
I have very good reasons as well. If you will humor me but a moment, since we're standing here anyway, and it seems like forcing my will upon you is going to be a little more work than I'd considered, which I do like about you. Allow me to regale you. Long ago, before the cataclysm that broke the sun, these isles were a whole. On it, the people respected and even worshipped the spirits. They understood the spirits' hand in guiding the laws of the world, the laws of magic. Among them were oracles who foretold a certain Akarosi emperor's foolish lust for power that would bring all of our end. They prepared and began building a portal that would allow us to escape the oncoming cataclysm, using the same magics that even now protect the settlements of these isles from the demons raging just without. I mean, have you noticed that no ghosties or anything dangerous has plowed through the windows or broken through the doors after you? Anyway, among these oracles was a chosen prince who would lead us to the new world. He had no desire for leadership. He wished to eat and drink and enjoy his days in vice and pleasure until he died of old age, much like your friend Everett. Just as the portal was almost finished, bloodthirsty savages attacked some sort of imperial race. I never figured out quite who they were because they don't matter to history. They're gone now. But they slaughtered almost every person on the island, save for the chosen prince, who fled and hid. Unfortunately for him, his chosen hiding spot was lair to a demonic woman, a beautiful demonic woman. Even now, the memory of her. Anyhow, one who claimed to possess immortality without the need for magics. She gave the prince an offer: become immortal at the cost of his soul and servitude. He refused. She drained him of his blood anyway. He lost consciousness, of course, as you do. And when he awoke with 2 punctures in his neck, and Barnum, you notice as he taps, his fingers do land on 2 dots upon his own throat. He was furious and hungry and scared. The being who'd offered him the power was nowhere to be seen, and the world around him had changed quite a bit. The sun had shattered, and the gates that once held back demons from other planes and the spirits of the dead after they left this world had been pried open. The world was in perpetual darkness. What's more, civilization had already begun rebuilding in the centuries that he'd apparently been asleep. He found also that he had a new body, one capable of superhuman feats, one that knew how to feed and satiate himself. And I'm sure if you've heard any myths of vampires, they're true. The prince bided his time, simply enjoying his newfound existence, finally able to enjoy his desired life free of responsibility. And for a time, he enjoyed it. Then a century passed. Then another, and he found himself losing more and more of his humanity, found himself bored with the trivial things that once interested him. It only grew worse. He felt his grasp on sanity slipping until he decided he had enough. He wanted out. And he leans forward close to your face and says, I want out. When I discovered there were rifts appearing all over this world that would allow us to cross the plains, I knew the oracles weren't so foolish after all. However, the portal they designed had a guarded structure built over it now, one protected by ancient magics that still hold their power. I couldn't simply take what I wanted by force. The humans were too numerous and the magics were too strong, so I used some of the many connections I've made over the centuries to acquire the land in a way that draw the least attention from others who are seeking this power as well, some of which you've associated with. And now, at the cusp of my success, the last pieces falling into place, here we are. You see, I'm not some evil mastermind. I am simply trying to progress all of us just a step further past where we found ourselves trapped in this current existence.
Why wouldn't you just try to make this world better?
Make the world better. A world with no sun. A world where the dead do not...
You're so powerful. You're so almighty and powerful. Fix it. Fight the monsters. Find a new energy source. Do the things that other people, humans, which you seem to hate a bunch, are already doing and doing better than you. You're not some kind of powerful man. You're a really entitled little boy who was given everything he wanted. And now you're angry because you're bored with your toys and you just want to throw it in the trash and go get a new one. But these are humans. And when they're together, they're more powerful than you. And that scares you. Kill me if you want, but I'm never going to bow to you. And what does, and I have a question. I am talking. And I have a question. What does Alkira have to do with any of this?
Once more, I'm afraid I don't know who.
You can stop lying to me about that and just tell me the truth. She knows you.
My dear, I have no reason to lie to you. I hold all the cards here, as you've acknowledged.
Study roll. I'm study rolling.
Oh yeah, what are you studying?
Lie to me. Is that how I do that? Is that how it works? Can I do it?
That's a good question. I don't think there's you can
study
gather...
a person, document, or item with close scrutiny to gather information?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Study. I was thinking when you said study, I heard gather information, but you mean the study action. Yes, please.
Gain a deeper understanding and do research. Okay.
Yes.
Give me my stuff.
I'm going to say that currently your position is definitely desperate.
It's not great. Yeah.
Your effect to this matter will be great.
Okay, and I'm gonna give myself an extra die. That's 2 stress, right? 1 stress?
Yes, 2 stress.
All right. And I got a 2. That's what I got. Okay.
A 2 means a failure, utter, complete failure. So, this consequence is as you're staring at him, looking in his eyes, trying to gauge what exactly is going on in there, gauging exactly if this man is lying to you, you find his eyes enchanting. Not necessarily beautiful. I don't mean it that way. I mean impossible to look away from. You find them just so enthralling. And he takes a step forward towards you. He says, "Go ahead. Kill me if you think you can." And you look down and your knife is in your hand. And he stands up straight, puts his hands behind his back, and bares his chest and says, "Do it."
Okay, I'm stabbing him through the eye then.
You stab him, and he laughs as his face starts withering away, and it starts burning, and suddenly turning to ash, and flaking up, and smoldering, think like Harry Potter in the first one when he's like touching his face at the end and it starts like that. He starts disintegrating and flames erupt all over his body. His laugh just echoing off the walls. And just like that, he's gone. He's poofed into a pile of ash on the ground. And then before you know it, your legs turn around and you start running. You start leaving. You get to the door, you throw them open, you push past the butler, and he says, "What happened?" And ignoring him, you just keep running. And then Vega and Thingama run up to you and say, "Hey, we did it. We have to get out of here now." And you say, "All right." And you guys all rush to the boat. You get on, and then you take back off across the void sea, leaving behind the Valentine Manor. You return back to Duskfall, and you're greeted by, of course, the beautiful barmaid and your friend Melissa, and they're cheering, and they're congratulating you and slapping you on the back, and the barmaid takes you home immediately. Thingama goes on to invent his beautiful alternative fuel source. He makes millions from it. He becomes one of the governors of Duskfall. Vega manages to find some old friends and acquaintances and go back to the Dagger Isles and take his rightful place in the manor. And Barnum, you spend the rest of your days finally at peace and happy. Meanwhile, Vega and Thingama, you guys, you're looking at this excavation in the cellar. And currently there are a lot of men in no particular uniform per se, but they've clearly been at this a while. They're all haggard, tired, malnourished looking, dirty. And this platform that they're revealing on the ground is just about cleared. They've just about finished moving everything off of it. What do you do?
Before I do anything, can I take a couple of my downtime?
Right, you guys in our flashback session took a whole lot of stress trying to convince people to do things. That's the cost of doing things without violence, I guess. So yeah, go ahead. We can, for you, flashback real quick to some downtime actions. What are you wanting to do?
I'm flashing back to Leah McGuire's pub because it seems I've found a new spot with a new bartender that seems to be a good guy.
All right, awesome. Go ahead and roll to indulge your vice. And for our audience, this our scoundrels have to indulge their vices. In Vega's case, it's being a rampant alcoholic in order to decrease their stress. You rolled a 1. So go ahead and take that little sip of beer, I guess. They're watering down this shit or something. Would you like to use your other downtime action?
Yes, let me go ahead and use my other downtime action. So I walked into the bar, I sat down, said, "Bring me something good." He brought me out something that looked oddly light colored. Sipped it, watered down. Oi, Leah.
He turns to you. Huh?
Really?
And he reaches over. I'm not doing dialogue because I don't remember what his voice was. He just goes, and he slides a mug full of some brownish brew across the table to you. Go ahead and indulge vice again if you dare.
Okay, thank God. Perfect.
All right, that is significantly better. This is the real deal, almost as if he felt bad for giving you nonsense before he realizes you're no rube, you know your booze. All right. Would you like to spend a coin or rep on more downtime action, or are you good?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, Thingama, what you got?
I'm gonna flash back and do drugs.
I bet you are. You're gonna flash back and flash back. Go ahead and indulge your vice.
Ah! Nice.
Wow, all right. Thingama clears his 5 stress. He is now clean. And you have a free downtime action to do something if you desire.
I'm going to check in on Everett and then, Eckhard, because you're Everett. And then I'm gonna make sure that he's okay because Ness threatened him, but then he's gonna teach me sneaky ways. So if that counts as training in prowess, then I can fill up my bar with that.
Then go ahead and do so, please.
And then that gives me another dot in prowl. So that's very good.
Nice. Thingama's starting to get agile. The criminal life suits him well. I like to think that if he ever lifted up his shirt, he'd just be chiseled.
He's a wee lad, but he's walking towards that.
Just a small pound of muscle. That's patronizing. Okay, so you guys are currently flash back to our present scene. You guys are looking down at this excavation going on. What's your plan here? What do you thinking you want to do?
Are there people down there?
Oh yeah, there's a whole workforce of people. There's like 10 or more people. And all of them have they have some sort of prospecting tools, shovels, pickaxes. Some are wheelbarrowing things outside. You saw some of them when you first came to the manor. You saw them going in and out the back to the cellar.
I think it's safe to assume that all of these guys are under the mind control of Scurlock to feel. Is that a gather information roll? Should I be gathering information?
Yeah.
On that? Okay.
And would that be that sounds survey-ish to me.
Yeah. Let me I want to just survey, scout everything out, and kind of see if I can get a gauge on whether or not these guys look the same amount of dead as the butler.
Perfect. And that'll be a fortune roll. You don't have to worry about position or effect.
Okay. Fortune roll. Was it risky? Control?
No. Don't worry about those.
My bad.
Yeah. Because of this, just for gathering information, you don't got to worry so much about that.
Okay. A 3. Perfect.
3. These guys don't look undead or anything. They look with a 3 you don't get that much information. I'll say that you don't know whether they're under mind control or not. You can tell that they're not reanimated dead. They're not vampires. Just like I've told you, just malnourished humans. But as for the mind control, I mean, they do all have blank expressions on their faces, but you don't know if that's just exhaustion.
Okay. Honestly, it seems enough to go off of. I think it's safe to assume they're under some sort of mind control. I'd rather not mess with them if I can help it.
Yeah.
So I say we prowl through some of the little alleys and ditches and stuff to see if we can work our way closer to the center of this place.
All right, you're going to lead us in a group prowl. Oh, so that'll be both of you. I'll say this will just be a risky standard for now.
Risky.
Actually, no, to start with controlled standard, because you guys are in a safe position starting off with this.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Make sure we're saying what we got out loud too.
Damn!
That I got a 1, a 1, and a 6.
I got a 6, a 5, and a 6.
That is a critical success.
Yeah,
You guys.
Don't we also have that other thing? We have a special.
Right, your crew ability does something with prowl rolls.
Yeah, it's
When you perform a group action synchronized, you may count multiple 6s from different rolls as a critical success.
That is good to remember. All right.
Okay.
Well then, overkill in that case. You guys critical success and then some. Oh, Fumbo folks redeemed a +1 to a die roll with their channel points. So on the next roll, you'll get a +1.
Thank you.
All right. So, yeah, check out those channel points reward things, you guys, if you want to play with that. All right. So with that,
I feel like I needed the most out of all of us.
I don't know. We'll survey. So
I want to use that +1 on a study.
It was a good roll.
Yeah, we want to use this now.
I want to defend that it was in character and
Make the critical success more critical. You guys slink down so silently. Even Thingama, who normally gives little grunts when he's moving around, dead silent. The seriousness of this is definitely setting in. You both slink down, and it's a long way down. You have to like anime slide down the side of this craterous hole that once was the floor of your cellar. and you guys slink a little closer, getting behind this massive boulder that's been like thrown to the side. Your wine shelves have been just pushed to the side. You see helpless bottles of wine just cracked on the floor, and hiding behind them, you can get a closer look. You can see that, well, first of all, you hear the runes around the platform have the faintest, slightest humming noise. And being as close as you are, you can even see that deep within some of the cracks of the stone, there's something glowing, like a bright, a dim green glow coming from underneath them. You see men carrying wheelbarrows. You see you have to duck behind as one of them walks by you. You see your father picking up a sack of something and hoisting it over his shoulder and walk. Oh, by the way, among them is Everett Valentine's father, alive and well. Well, alive. Now going back to Barnum. Barnum, back in the study.
No, I don't want to.
Edwin.
That's
Barnum,
not cool.
Barnum, back in the study, you suddenly blink your eyes, but everything's fading in and out around you. You had the barmaid on one arm, you had friends, but suddenly they're gone, and then you blink and they're there again, and you blink and they're gone, and you rub your eyes and you look up, and Scurlock's just standing there, smiling. And the consequence for your last desperate fail, unless you choose to resist it, is you will be hypnotized. Do you choose to resist it?
What? How do I resist? Do I have to roll to resist? Or
That would be a resolve roll. So you click on resolve above. It's just above a tune.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So basically you resist it, and you're about to see how much stress you're going to take for resisting that.
Do I do any bonus die? I'm sorry, I don't do this one a lot.
You get one bonus die because of Fumble Folks, redeeming a +1 roll for you.
Thank you, Fumble Folks. Fumble Folks? Sorry, that's hard to say, but I like it a lot.
And somebody redeemed a Devil's Bargain. Here's the channel
What
points.
does that mean if they redeem it?
If they redeem it, I believe, this is the first time, I believe, in an episode using those rewards. I believe the Devil's Bargain is they get to choose. They get to present a Devil's Bargain to offer.
Oh no!
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Somebody that likes us.
Yeah, I wanted to give the audience a chance to. All right.
Awful.
So basically,
People a lot of power right now, Edwin.
I know. Have I made a mistake? Let's find out. So you do get the +1 for that redeemed roll, of course.
Thank you, Fumble Folks. Okay,
So,
I got a 5, a 3, and a 2.
all right. So you suffer 1 stress because it's 6 minus your highest result. So you suffer the stress and you shake it off, and you look at Scurlock, and his smile has only grown, and he says, "No. Oh, you are different. You are very different. You are strong-willed, or batshit crazy. I find my powers have less effect on those types as well.
It's a little bit of both, actually.
Tell me what it is you desire out of all of this. What are you hoping for in the end?"
I just want to know what old Kira had me come here for. That's all I'm looking for. We didn't know you were here, man. We're not here for you. I don't care what you're doing.
Well,
Nothing about you. Vega's not here for you. Nobody's here for you, man. Nobody. Vega's dad mined runes or something. That's all we know. I think that's what he said. And we're here. We're here for nothing to do with you. Or maybe it's all to do with you, but I don't think it is because
May I?
don't want to deal with you anymore. So I kind of just want to go, honestly, at this point, and get everywhere else and just kind of get out of here. But, it's your party, I guess.
May I?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so I genuinely do not know who this Kira person is. I do mean that. As I've said, I have no reason to lie to you. None. I have nothing to gain from that. I'm trying to gain your genuine trust. I've only been upfront about my intentions. Now, how much you choose...
make me a vampire and hypnotize me.
Yes, as a favor. As a favor to make all of this much easier for you. Do you know how terrifying the apocalypse was for everyone that survived it? You know how terrifying it's going to be for all you squishy, fragile little humans? You don't know what's coming. You don't know what I'm about to accomplish. And if you're not interested, you really ought to be.
I'm not.
Well, fine. Go then.
You're very pouty for a god. Do you know that?
And you're very rude. Go. Go. I tried to give you enchanting visions that your deepest heart's desire could want. I tried to make you like me so that you could live forever.
I
don't know what you humans want. Oh, I got your point already. I got it. Just
making sure. So tell me how I get to this rift and I'll leave. I see I've upset
No, why would I tell you that? You've been nothing but rude to me, madam. You have been rude, and frankly, if I had feelings, you would have hurt them very much.
I hurt the feelings of a god, the mightiest and most wonderful of all mankind.
Given the reputation gods have for smiting those who blaspheme, I would think you would have a little more care.
You've already tried to smite me twice, and I feel like it didn't work.
Third time's the charm, isn't it?
You can try.
I can.
We can both go out together, Scurlock.
But no, that's stupid. No, either you'll join me or you go out. Are all humans this frustrating? Trick question. Yes, they are. I've been here for 500 years, in case you've forgotten.
You've been here 500 years and they're still besting you at every turn. What does that say to you? That you should work with them and less against them. Why don't you use your...
That's what I've been saying. I feel like we're talking in circles. And he snaps his finger and the door opens and he says, yes, sir. Escort this... escort this charming woman out to the front. And when he says that, he smiles. This guy is like just flipping, almost bipolar in a way. And he says, just be sure to pass the message. I'd like for them to have a chance to squander this opportunity that you are just so freely giving up. Go ahead, leave.
They will never join you either. And if you would just tell me how to get to this rift, what are you so scared of me figuring it out for?
Take her to the front door, and if she tries to come back in, kill her. And the butler says, of course, my lord.
I just do one last little flip. If you're ever in need again, to be humbled, call me. And then I leave, walking out ahead of him.
You do so. And you hear just a soft as the doors shut behind you. And the butler says, right this way, madam. And starts...
Wait, sorry. You froze after you do. Can you start from there? Sorry, I froze.
You do? I don't know what I said. Man, I don't have a 5-second attention span.
I think that's just the last little bit of her being escorted out of the room.
Oh, essentially, yeah. Yeah, he turns around, the butler turns around and takes you, starts taking you down the staircase towards the front door once more.
As we go, I lean over to him and I say, okay, take me to wherever they are.
I've been instructed to carry you to the front door. And here it is.
I take my knife out and I hold it against his chest. It's going to be a last instruction if you don't tell me where they are.
Have a lovely evening, madam.
Stabs him.
All right, go ahead and roll prowl.
Don't give me that look, Thingama.
You stabbed my butler!
I'm vicious! I have a trauma! Just because you're healthy, Vega, doesn't mean that the rest of us are.
All right, this is going to be desperate standard.
You know, you can just keep giving me all those XP points.
Go ahead and take them. Fine, whatever. I don't care.
I got a 5.
All right, so that's a success with consequence. So you stab him right in the chest, and he says, "Ow." And quicker than you can blink, his arm snaps up and grabs you by the throat. and he lifts you off of your feet, and he says, "I'm sorry, madam. I had very much hoped this wouldn't be necessary." And without putting any of his body into the throw, again, I love using anime character imagery. With one arm, he just throws you out the door. You take a level 2 harm. I was gentle instead of the level 3, but this guy, he was instructed to kill you if you didn't leave. This is more of a warning, it feels. So, level 2 harm unless you resist it.
Well, I also want to say, I remember, sorry, really quickly, I think...
Oh, sorry, and opportunity lost to kill this guy.
Okay. My vampire... Sorry, go ahead. My vampire...
No, you go ahead.
Injury, I think, was supposed to be at level 1, and we talked about that because I resisted it, and I couldn't remember how it worked. So I didn't want you to see me change things on my paper.
No, we did. You had like some ability to... What was your Battleborn ability, I believe?
Yeah.
And you had some heavy armor that you used.
So I didn't want you to see me changing things and be like, cheater.
I was just watching quietly.
Throne.
Vampire neck, is that how that works? Yes.
Someone also bought Do It in a Funny Voice, and I don't have a funny voice.
No, I meant to remove that one. I can't do that.
Too late now.
I meant to
I
remove
have
that
too
one.
much power.
This is high drama. We can't.
If chat wants to ruin the drama, then let them
If
ruin
chat
the
wants
drama.
it, chat got it.
Chat waited
not-
patiently. Chat
All right.
waited patiently for 11 episodes to ruin our fun.
All right, so
That's true.
I have made such a mistake. Okay, so I'll give you your funny voice in a second. What do you do now, Barnum? You just got thrown out the door, Fred Flintstone style.
I'll resist it. Resolve again, right?
Yes, go ahead.
Remember.
Sorry, not resolve, prowess, because this is a physical strain
Okay.
or injury.
I got a 5, a 5, a 6, and a 4.
All right, you successfully, you don't take any stress. The level 2 harm becomes a level 1 harm. However, I believe you have 2 level 1 harms still. So even reducing it, I believe it would go back up to a level 2 again.
Well, I'll put, okay, gotcha.
I'm sorry, that's...
No,
yeah.
we're here now. I have to figure out it, because I don't remember how things... We don't... Usually our harms are just like level 3 harm, and that's it.
Yeah, just call it a day. You are stacking up the harms and stress. Barnum is looking rough. However, I'll say you do resist the other part of the consequence, lost opportunity.
Oh.
So he throws you out the door, and you do like a back tumble, and of course, like an acrobat, land on your feet and like the 3-point landing, and you look up at him just as he's closing the door. What do you do?
I'm just gonna rush the door and kind of like push through it to get to the cellar.
All right. He is still on the other side of the door, so that'll take some kind of roll to get up in there.
Well, I'll just get a wreck.
All right, you're gonna wreck it. That sounds beautiful. I'm gonna give you a risky standard. As for your success in the last one, you are no longer in a desperate position per se.
I got a 2 and a 3. Man, I am not rolling. I was told that your last game, your rolls went really well, and I just want to know. I want y'all to know I'm really pissed off.
Just sapped it from the future game. All right, so Barnum running forward, you jump and you kick into the door, and it doesn't budge at all. Just dunk, and you fall to the ground. And going easy on you still, this will just be another lost opportunity. As we changed back to, well, I'm not going to be like, you break your leg, the shin bone popping out from the no. Let's go back to the family reunion. Yes, down in the cellar, down in the giant craterous hole that was made in the floor of the cellar that's now gone, just behind a boulder, you see around the corner your father carrying a sack. His eyes look just dead. His face is gaunt. He looks more unhealthy than you've ever seen him. His hair has started graying more than it was even before. And you've...
in that moment, I think Vega's just I'm standing there trying to take this in. This is... What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And he thinks to himself, Vega thinks to himself and says, even if it is him, it's not really. I've just got to keep going. So seeing this, I just want to acknowledge that if he is alive, the only way I'm going to save him is by completing what it is we're already doing.
And what is that precisely?
Making it to the center of this thing, finding some way to perform this ritual on this godforsaken rock. So, how close are we to this rock?
To the platform that's in the middle
The platform, yeah.
Yes, you are within 8 to 10 feet of it. You are very near it. You're like just on the other side of a boulder that's been skewed to the side.
Okay, so Thingama. We need to make it to the top of that platform. I think we can climb it. There's a lot of people here.
Mm-hmm.
You think you can create some sort of distraction to get them away from it?
Honey, I am distraction.
All right, let's see what you got.
What do you got?
Very
Bring
good.
it.
I'm going to I saw that Vega was kind of staring at that way at one of the people, so I'm gonna step behind the boulder and then go this way, and then chuck some demolition tools to wreck a tunnel.
Oh man. All right, so go ahead. I'll say because of your mega uber dynamo critical success before, you are in a controlled position. Standard effect.
All right, controlled position.
And mind you, your goal is simply to cause a distraction, or is it the destruction of the exit pathway?
So, with people, no, just cause a distraction.
Okay.
So, controlled standard, but I have 1 harm, which is less effect, so that would go down to limited. So I'll spend 2 stress to make it go back up to standard.
All right. Go ahead.
And that is a 2 and a 5.
2 and a 5. Success with a consequence. Very dope. All right. So you throw the demolition tools, and besides the kink of all the prospectors' tools and the shovels and the digging and all that stuff, it's been mostly kind of silent. So it is just pure cacophony. When the explosion sets off, it just rattles and echoes in the cellar. And all of the people in there look up, concerned, and one of them go, "What is that?" That's your funny voice. Thank you. All right, so
That's not fair. Do it more. That was good.
you see all of them turn towards the explosion, and immediately, instead of running away from it, they start slowly moving towards it. Vega's father, in fact, drops the sack on the ground and says, "Get out of the way, move." And he starts stepping forward to go and deal with whatever. You see that a bunch of rubble has collapsed. The cellar exit has been partially collapsed completely. What an oxymoron I am. But the distraction was definitely successful.
Okay, so as soon
However,
as...
we need a consequence. Luckily, it was controlled position. So, it's not going to be too bad. I'm going to make your consequence very simple, is that you're now in a risky position. How are we in a risky position, GM? Let me tell you. Because at that point, you hear, what are you doing? What's going on? What is it? And you turn, and you swear there was nobody standing up at the lip of the crater before. There's nobody there where this goateed, aristocratic-looking man now stands looking down. He is not looking at you, thankfully. He's still looking toward the distraction that's been caused. And your father turns around and says, "There's been a cave-in." And he says, "A cave-in? We don't get cave-ins. It's not a cave, you imbecile. Now, there's some people lurking around here. Keep an eye out. Okay, they are going to try to interfere with this beautiful, momentous occasion. I don't want that. Okay? Deal with it. Get back to work. Is anyone dead?" And your father looks back. Yeah. Well, I lost a man. And Scurlock just... All right, well, whatever. We don't need him. We're almost done, right? Did you finish? Are you almost finished? And Vega's father looks down and says, well, we still have to clean the area around it. We still want to make sure we dust off the last stuff. And immediately, like in a blink, Scurlock just... It's as if like you clicked and dragged him as he just swoops down to the ground in front of Vega's father and says, "Is it ready?" And Vega's father backs up looking shocked and says, Yeah. It should be. All the runes are intact around the edge of it. We chiseled the ones that weren't." And Scurlock pats him on the cheek patronizingly and says, "Good. Aren't you so glad that you decided to come with me?" And your father says, "Yes, Mr. Scurlock." "Mr. Lord Scurlock." And he gets down on his front and plops his hands to the ground, bowing to him like he's a god. And Scurlock says, "Good. Get everyone ready and be sure to bring the sacrifice. I believe our friends will be arriving here soon if they are not here already." And turning around, he puts his feet together and his body just starts floating like an 80s movie, like CGI. He just floats back to the lip of the crater. What's up, Victor?
I was doing like not great like clip art.
You are now in a risky position.
I want to use another survey roll to observe that conversation to see if I can actually decide whether or not my father is brainwashed.
Survey roll? You're gonna do another one?
Yeah.
All
Because
right.
if I can confirm one way or another.
All right. This will be a gather information roll. So go ahead and if you scroll down to the bottom, like under your dangerous friends or whatever yours says, sneaky friends, you'll see a button that says roll fortune. Shady friends. So at the bottom of all your actions, go down a little lower.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little button that says roll fortune, just under Ketra's name.
You know what? I'll take 2 stress
Okay.
to give myself an extra die on this.
All right. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
All right, you got a 5. So that'll be some useful but not perfectly clear information. It certainly appears to be your father, the one that you knew and grew up with. Now, he looks utterly different from how he did the last time you saw him years ago, but it seems to be him. Now, what he's doing here, how he could have survived, why he's following Scurlock, you can't even guess what his motivations are, being your father or not. But nonetheless, that is the case as it stands.
Okay.
In a boom.
Thank you, Thingama. I just want to hang tight until I see Scurlock leave.
Oh, Scurlock doesn't leave. He stands at the top of the crater. His peripheral isn't facing directly towards you, but he's looking at the platform specifically. Now, all the workers have pretty much started moving on to this tunnel that just kind of collapsed to deal with that. He's not focused on them. He's looking at the platform curiously.
So he's got his back turned to us?
No, more like his profile, like his side.
Okay.
It's a risky position as opposed to desperate, so like let that gauge the fact that you have some leeway here.
Okay. Lord Valentine,
His head perks up. He looks at Scurlock and then gets back to what he was doing. Father! His hand goes to pick up some rubble to move it, and he freezes in place. And his head slowly turns towards your direction. And
Before he can say anything, he sees me doing this.
he makes eye contact. His eyes widen. And then his eyelids droop again as he becomes sad, it seems. And he gets back to what he was doing.
Why is he doing this? Why would he do this? Why would he do this?
We'll have to find out after we take a small break. We're gonna take a little 5 to 8 minute break. We will be right back. Please don't go anywhere. Thank you for joining us, friends. We will return momentarily. Tech, if you want to go ahead and take us out. Dun 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 dun. Hello, everyone. Welcome back, I think. Are we on? I think we're on. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us on When Can We Play, where we are playing Blades in the Dark. We are picking back up where we left off. We just had a stunning revelation in which our scoundrel Vega, the Lurk, was reunited, in a sense, with his father, who is under the control of Lord Scurlock, the vampire that oversees this excavation of this mysterious platform with runes etched in it. He tried to get his father's opinion. Nobody wants that. Tried to get his father's attention. Who hasn't? No jokes, focus. Okay, trying to get his father's attention to no avail. Nothing. And that's about where we left off. But I want to pick back up with Barnum, who's just been thrown out the front door of the manor and tried to jump up and kick the door open, and it did not budge. It is locked tight. What is your next move, Barnum?
Stand out there for a second with like my hands on my hips and look around and kick a few rocks. Go to the sky. Well, that didn't go well. I just started walking around like the perimeter of the house. He said I couldn't get back inside. Okay, he didn't say I couldn't. Just like.
Oh, that's a good Barnum. By the way, you do hear an explosion coming from probably around the back of the manor.
Sounds like things are going well. Not much security out here. I guess I could. I'm just talking to myself because I'm a crazy, insane clown. And
yeah, tell yourself that.
Not much. Not much security out here. And I'm just like walking around the side of it, like looking.
You hear a screech noise, like a bird screeching, and you look up and you see this giant ghostly smoke cloud, it looks like, with a face and fangs and arms coming out of it, and it dives towards you, and then it swerves at the last second, and then as you're looking up, you notice that the sky is teeming with these. It's like a flock of birds scattered throughout, but every time one of them gets close, you see it's a ghostly apparition of a human or some two-headed beast or something with tendrils and wings. And a few times they try to dive down towards you, and then it's like they hit an invisible barrier, and then they fly off. That's just a little world building for you. You continue around and you stop when you notice that some people, you're around near the back of the manor now, and some people around the cellar that you guys had scoped out at first, you see that they're concernedly trying to move rubble. They're trying to quickly move debris from inside the entrance of the cellar.
Just gonna walk over. Well, what's all this then?
One of them looks up at you and says, "Well, don't just stand there. Help us clean this up."
Very well. And then I just start helping.
One of the NPCs is canon now, so it's fine.
I like them.
And then
I start helping them.
And then you hear Vega go, "Hey, no. Who are you?" And you look up and it's Vega, but much older. And then it clicks in your brain that this is not Vega at all. Some older gentleman, much older. And he looks at you. "Who are you supposed to be? You're not one of my men."
Clearly I'm help.
Clearly, I know who's the help and who's not. You're an intruder. Just move on. Stay out of the way.
If you want to do it yourself, then, and I just take a couple steps back. Could I? Sorry, I'm looking at something.
You could possibly.
Could I possibly? Have I done this? If I, and you can tell me no on this, could I use an arcane implement to basically like move it all for them?
I don't believe any of them give you telekinesis.
Well, that's not there. What about a vial of something that dissolves the rock when I throw it on it?
There is quite a bit of rock. There's a lot.
What if it just dissolves some of it?
Sure. What would you try to use for that? What do you got for that?
I'm gonna use an arcane implement, but I'm gonna just call it a vial of rock rock goo.
A vial of rock goo. Arcane
what
implements
happens?
is like a spirit related stuff, electricity related stuff, magic related
plays.
stuff.
I think it's a play.
All right, I'll say that you have a risky limited with that.
I'm gonna do it just to kind of prove to Vega's dad that I'm helpful.
Okay.
Stand to the side and open. I assume I have a fanny pack. And open my fanny pack. Open
You've
the
got a
fanny
U
pack.
pack. All right, go on.
Open the fanny pack and take it out, and I just toss it onto the rocks.
As you do so, it splatters over and starts dissolving it a bit. But first, we got to roll to see exactly how successful it is.
What is it a roll for?
You tell me.
Oh, this is
Could be.
Finesse.
Could it be? Yeah, finesse makes sense to me.
Are you trying to do it without being seen?
No, I'm just doing it to be cool and get his approval. Could it be a sway? Charm?
That's an interesting take. A sway. I like
That's
that.
why
I
I'm
like
doing
that.
Yeah, I'm doing it to get Vega's dad, who just said like I was not helpful, to be like, oh well, maybe she's not that bad. Maybe she
But I
isn't.
am gonna note you do have harms that causes less effect, so that limited effect goes down to no effect. Like you got to be choosy with your actions here, right? Because you're really high on harm and very high on stress.
That's fair. Okay, I won't do it, and I'll just cut this all out.
No, you gotta leave it in. It's part of the process.
Okay, I won't do that then, because
She knows I don't rewatch them. She's gonna do it. All right. So what do you do, Barnum?
I'm just gonna watch them then and let them do it. I'm just gonna relax under a tree.
All right. You're gonna wait a moment. That's fine. Then let's go on to our two guys who are inside the hornet's nest, so to speak. What's your next move, boys?
I've been thinking. Do you have anything, Victor?
No.
Okay. What do you think would happen if I removed one of these runes from this platform?
I think he's watching, so
Obviously he's watching.
yeah.
I can sneak over there and get to one because he's standing on the platform. Surely I can get up under him.
Is it like a plateau, and then the runes are like these like talismans that are in them, Edwin, or are they like carved in it?
They're carved into this giant platform, like around the edge.
So they're not something I can remove?
I mean, you could attempt to maybe pry up some of the rock or something, but probably not. It's solid stone. I mean, you could try. You just got to tell me how you're gonna try. How you're gonna be creative with that.
If you want to get rid of it, I have no more items because my load is tapped out. I spent my load. So no items for me. But if you want to like try and wreck it, I'm always a fan.
I don't see many other options. Then I'll use. What do you say? Do you want to come with me? Do you want to stay here?
Both are bad. Well, what do you want to do? I'll go with you, whatever, man. I'll watch your six, and by that I mean your butt, because I'm pretty level with it. Nice.
Then I'll take off sneaking down to the platform to see if I can get to one of the spots where these runes are carved in.
All right, let's do it.
You
So
coming
if-
with? I quit talking and I take off. Thingama, you coming?
Would this be another group prowl roll?
If you go, yes.
Then yeah.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead and roll your prowl roll. It's gonna be risky. I'll say without having some sort of setup maneuver to. Well, tell me how you're planning on. Sorry, I'm getting ahead. I'm getting way ahead. First, this is the actual act of sneaking up to the thingy. So that will be risky. As per your distraction, I'll go ahead and give you great, because Scurlock being there is the reason for the risky. So I'll give you a brief little window here. I'm throwing you a lot of slack because I have so many obstacles I've thrown. This is not a balanced encounter in the slightest. So
I feel it deep in my anxiety.
oh, I know it. Go ahead.
Would it be risky standard because of my 1 harm less effect?
No, it will use. It doesn't matter for you. Jake's the one leading the group roll, so.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. So risky standard.
Can you say that out loud?
Yeah, I rolled a 5, a 3, and a 2, so the 5 counts.
And then I got a 3, 5, and a 4.
All right. So that's a 5 overall. Success with complications or consequences. What is that complication or consequence gonna be? I wonder. I don't really wonder. I already know what's gonna happen. I'm God. So you guys go ahead and slink forward through the actually you don't have to go that far. You were a few feet from it, so you guys managed to go forward under the cover of what shadow there is in this place. Scurlock is luckily, fortunately for you, narratively at this moment looking. He's about to turn his gaze, and then you hear, "Master, I've brought what you requested." And he turns away from you for a moment to look up the other entrance, the stairwell leading down into the hallway from inside the manor. And you see that the butler, he is walking down the steps, and he has a dagger in his chest, and he's carrying the arm of a cloaked figure. And this figure is small, frail looking, delicate looking. They have a cloak pulled over, the hood pulled over their most of their face. And Scurlock says, he looks down at the dagger and just plucks it a little, and he says, "Parting gift." "I'm afraid so, master." Huh. Leave that in there, I like it. It spices up your look a little bit. "And you, darling." And he leans down to look under the hood. "How are you feeling?" "Oh, you don't have to answer that, it's fine. I know you're quite scared, but as I've said, it will all be worth it very soon." All right. We're beginning soon. Enough screwing around. It's time. Gather, 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 gather. And suddenly the men, they were grabbing rubble. One of them was pulling one of their men out from under the rubble. He just drops his arm and turns and starts walking towards the platform. All of the workers start gathering around the circle. They're not at you yet. Sorry, let me back up. They don't start gathering yet. They start walking towards it. Vega, you're currently at the edge of the circle. What do you do? Oh, sorry. I need you to know what the consequence is. What's the consequence? The consequence is, he says, all right, so as all great rituals begin, virgin sacrifice, of course. Bring her down immediately, and you can lose the hood, darling. It's no time to be so bleak.
I knew it, you dirty
Let the spirits and gods see who it is. And the butler yanks back the hood of the robe, revealing Rosalind Kellis, the young noble who had been smitten with Vega and disappeared after telling him that she couldn't help him anymore. Several sessions ago. That's right. I keep notes. All right. So the butler starts gently. He's not rough or brutal with her like he was with Barnum. He does delicately try to guide her down. And she starts pushing back, no! And she starts trying to shove him, but he is way stronger than she is. And her feet are slipping and sliding under the gravel. That's your consequence, is someone you know and care about is in danger. What a sadist. All right, so what are you doing now, Vega and Thingama, other guy, and Barnum? Barnum, you see all the workers turn around and start going inside the cellar, out of you.
Flashback
Flashback
to me talking with Thingama in his workshop about whether or not he could create a remote-controlled bomb. A button-controlled C4, if you will.
Yeah, I'm very good at blowing stuff up. Have you not been paying attention, Vega?
Then let's roll a tinker roll and see how well this works out.
All right, so that'll cost you, only 1 stress, because this isn't something that's beyond the realm of Thingama doing, like on his off time. It won't cost 2, so. But you will have to roll that tinker roll, and it'll be a fortune roll. To see how effective it is.
Wow, very generous. All right. 4 die. What?
Mishka gave us a +1 for the tinker roll.
You got a +1. Thank you. Thank you, Comrade Mishka.
Thank you, comrade. Thank you.
So that is, I'm very good at tinkering, so that's already 4. So this is now a 5th die. Ba-ba-ba-bam. Bam. And I rolled a 1, 1, 4, 5, 5.
All right, so that's going to be a 5 total. So you do manage to scrap together a small, explosive little doodad. The explosion won't be catastrophic or room-destroying by any means, but it's significant enough to take out a few people in any given radius.
Yeah, so it works on, timing and stuff. So, science.
And since that was done via flashback, that won't count towards your load.
Okay, so in real time, I'll sneak over, look at Thingama, just plant this bomb really close to one of the rooms.
Oh, I thought you were gonna put it on me.
Go, Thingama,
I was
go!
like-
Run! Do it for us! Your sacrifice won't be forgotten.
And I'll leave the control with Thingama. Like, you've got the controller.
Oh gosh, okay. Great.
And then another flashback
Oh my.
to me also bringing a wooden stake. Maybe?
Yeah, I don't know if you need a flashback for that necessarily. I mean, that could be an unusual weapon.
Oh, you're right.
your
You're
load?
right. You're right. In this case, my unusual weapon, I want it to be
A vampire stake. That's sick. That's fine.
a vampire stake in a crossbow is more so what I would.
That's mighty unusual.
So I'm curious. I just have this with me.
All right.
And oh God, this is gonna go really, really
Oh
good.
wait, hold
really
on.
bad.
So an unusual weapon is like like an improvised weapon, like an impromptu weapon. So what you're doing does sound, forgive me, it does sound flashbackable. Like for that to be that specific, like a stake, that's
Just something I could pick up.
yeah. But if you want to shoot it from a crossbow, that's something special. That will probably take a flashback.
Okay, then yeah, I'll take the flashback to get that crossbow, and also make sure that Thingama has one with him as well. Not the crossbow, but just a stake, or a crossbow if he wants it. If he's right, you know?
All right, I'll say if you're given for you and Thingama, that will cost 2 stress. Because the shooting from the crossbow thing, that's unique. And
Okay.
of course, giving another advantage of Thingama having a thing.
Okay.
Could I spend a stress so that it's not all on him?
Sure. Yeah, you both can spend a flashback to
Okay, I'm good with
Yeah.
that.
bada bing. Sorry, I've been watching The Sopranos lately. Bada boom, forget about it. So, what are you doing?
I'm going to walk out from up under the platform that we're on. And
So you're stepping out into visibility?
yeah,
All right. So as you step out into visibility onto the platform, this stone platform in the middle of the bottom of this crater, Scurlock looks at you and says, "Oh, hello, Vega. So glad you came here. I didn't have to go looking for you. One moment, please. I don't mean to be rude. Just hold on. Come on." And the butler looks at him. I do apologize, madam. And he picks her up by both arms, and she's like kicking her feet, and she's yelling. She looks at you. Vega? Vega, you're part of this? And he takes steps down, and the butler comes up to you, not afraid or daunted by you at all, and walks up to the center of the platform. Pardon me, Lord Valentine. And he lays the girl down. And at this point, the workers have gathered around the platform, and they run up. They have straps, and they have nails and hammers, and they start putting them across her to tie her essentially to the ground. And Scurlock looks at you. I have very much looked forward to us talking. Your father's here. Say hello. And
Yeah, I know he's here.
your father looks at you. He looks defeated. He says, "Hey, son, you look well."
Why would you ever bring your spineless tail into a situation like this?
It's not something I expect you to understand, not right away. I had an opportunity. I would do it again. It'll be worth it.
You know, I always thought I was a bad guy. I'm not. I just come from bad circumstances.
You came from wonderful circumstances, you pompous brat. You had everything.
You had everything.
We had everything. And we're about to have even more.
Kiss my ass.
And Scurlock is looking down, his eyes are wide. Ooh, this is beautiful. It's theatrical. And he says this, his feet are like walking, but he's slowly gliding down. This is stupendous. It's like a work of art. It's something that couldn't have been written any better. And he's now standing between you, forming kind of a triangle around Rosalind's body on the ground as the workers back up. You, your father, Scurlock, all standing in this triangle around her. Mr. Vega Valentine, well, at first I was disappointed when I learned your deliberate commitment to finding me. I warned you not to, but I learned that perhaps it's something that could be turned to my advantage. It was actually your father's idea, is the thing. He thought, no, you want to... And he looks from Scurlock, and your father looks at you and says, "Son, the world isn't as it seems. It's about to get a whole lot worse. And there's only the option of being on one side or the other. Now, I was lucky enough to be given a chance. Now, I want to extend this chance to you, son. I thought perhaps you weren't ready. Perhaps you were just lost to all of it, to the money, the drugs, the women, all of that sinful vice that you found yourself obsessed with, which you did get from me, I admit. But this is a chance for true power."
If your version of true power involves giving yourself over to some sort of demon who's made himself believe he's a god, I want nothing to do with it.
Don't be so stupid. Look around you. Look at this. You didn't know this was here.
I'll tell you this right now. I can find out the real truth of what's actually happening here.
Scurlock says, okay, this is great. Vega, look. Do you want to be a god? Okay, I extended the same offer to your friend Barnum. She wasn't having it. She's very feisty, that one. Very cool. But she didn't seem to be capable of thinking big picture. But if you're anything like your father, however you feel about that one way or the other, you seem like a man of principle, a man of discipline, a man who understands when something's at stake, what you have to make sacrifices, right? Look.
As he's saying this, I'm gonna go ahead and start setting up for the ritual.
How do you mean?
The ritual that we had talked about, me knowing, because that was my whole purpose of getting here, was to perform my own ritual.
I don't recall what the circumstances of it was. Could you please remind me? What does the ritual pertain to? What does it do precisely?
I don't think we ever specified.
My goal with it, my thinking in it, was being able to snap between myself and wherever Alkira is.
All right, so tell me what preparing for this ritual would look like.
I pull out a small satchel and I start setting up runes in the center of this stone.
Rosalind's eyes just follow you, horrified, and she says, Vega,
I just
Vega,
look
whatever.
down at her and I wink.
And she just gasps a bit. Meanwhile, Barnum, you're just outside the cellar. What are you doing in the meantime?
So once I saw everybody start like going back inside or wherever they were going, I just started walking around the side. So I kind of can assume what they're doing. And I'm whistling and picking up wood and sitting it next to the sides of the house as I walk around. And I'm just getting more firewood and putting it around and putting it around and putting it around and putting it around. And yeah, then I want to use that devil's bargain, but I want to kind of put a spin on it.
Oh, right. The devil's bargain from the chat, you mean?
Yeah, our chat's devil bargain about the house gets set on fire and we have a clock to get out.
Okay.
Because I want to set it on fire. I'm not allowed to go in, but I can smoke them out. Also, if you catch a vampire on fire, historically,
I'm gonna say the action in the devil's bargain can't like be the same. Like if your action is to set the place on fire.
Well, how can we incorporate? I want to incorporate that. So that we
Try to accomplish some other goal, and we can use that devil's bargain to start doing that as well, I suppose.
Okay, well, I don't want to do that. I want to set this place on fire. I thought it was a good idea. So
it's not a bad one. It's not a bad one.
Set it on fire either way. That's my hope.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm gonna start doing that and getting things ready. And I'm thinking, and again, you can tell me if this is too far out there with the arcane implements.
Mm-hmm.
Having one of them be something that can like set fire to, like start a fire. It's kind of vague, so I just don't know exactly.
It's supposed to be spiritual related, electroplasm related, ghost related, not necessarily.
Because I don't know what black salt or quicksilver is, because those sound like more metal.
That's to destroy spirits, like fight spirits.
Oh, okay.
Or
like very metal.
Or perhaps demonic or spiritual type creatures.
Sulfur. They won't be able to get in here.
Do you understand what I'm saying, though?
I think I understand. I'm not sure. I think I get it. But
as in creatures like vampires, ghosts, demons.
So I think, anyway, however I need to do this, I was going to try to set it on fire, but we can, yeah.
All right. Subterfuge supplies, perhaps? No, not quite.
Demolition tools, I guess, are the closest thing.
That would do it, yeah. Demolition tools.
All right. So we can do that. Yeah, our demolition tools are like a sledgehammer and irons.
Oh, yeah, that's like workman's tools.
But that's what we've used as bombs before, so.
We have done that, haven't we?
The question of continuity versus.
Yeah, right.
Why are you reading the fine print of all these? Stop it.
Because I get in
Well, because they do have.
That gets in trouble for trying to use things wrong. Okay.
Well, you're the only one who tries to use them so weird. You're like, I want to use my climbing gear to.
Well, okay.
Start a fire.
There's a lantern.
Interesting.
You're right.
There's a lantern there if we want to do like.
I'm not trying to shut you down. I'm trying to work with you. I'm trying to find what in-game legal things could be.
Yeah, I mean, whatever works, whatever fits with either continuity or what we've been, however we need to do that. Because we've been using bombs during that, so I'm kind of like, whatever we need to, however you want.
Right. No, that is very true. That is the case.
So, I'm down to play it by the rules now, or to go by continuity. Either way, I'm cool with it.
All right. Tell me what you try to do, and I will tell you your position and effect. And if it happens to have a limited effect, that'll be the case.
I just want to set it on fire.
All right.
With the demolition tools, theoretically, I feel like matches or something, or just some kind of like. I'm not looking for a flamethrower, just something that actually is the old time steampunk version of a lighter, basically.
Flint and tinder. Yeah. For a simple like flint and tinder thing, you could like.
I don't know that it necessarily.
Yeah.
Even in that, it's kind of like.
Yeah, we have used demolition tools as bombs, so if you wanted to take the 2 load for that, we could do that because we have. The lantern idea isn't bad. So I could start a fire, arguably.
Whatever works, whatever you are most cool with. Whatever's gonna have the best effect for me is what I'm saying.
Which would you like to use, Paige? I'm sorry for making you flustered with it. I'm trying to
No,
work
I'm just
with what
trying
we
to
got.
make sure it's right because I don't want to do it wrong.
It's all free form. Just it's only like when the only time I stop is when it's like I try to use the ghost hunting potions to. That's the only time I.
They're just so fake. That's
They
the only
are.
thing. It's like it feels more wizardry to me. Arcane implements than it feels.
If you want to use the arcane implements to start some sort of. Well, because like Thingama has alchemical supplies, which is literally that kind of stuff. Like, but we can work with it. It'll be
I think
a
demolition
ghostly
tools
fire.
is fine. We can just something on in demolition tools that starts fire. So.
Us talking about it so much is against the spirit of the game in the first place. So let's just run with it. Whatever.
Let's do demolition tools. I'll take. I guess since it's just like matches, I'll take like the demolition tools. And I just want to try to. I was just gonna set the place on fire so that it basically creates a distraction, so they can do whatever's going on in there. Because I can pretty well assume that Scurlock is being. I don't know what's going on.
All right, so here's how I'm going to twist that devil's bargain, right? That I will offer you. If you're trying to set the place on fire, I'll say the devil's bargain is that the fire cuts your friends off from the direct exit from the cellar.
What's y'all's harm like?
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I hope that we can. The fire will just kind of be on top of it. I don't know if it would even get. Well, the cellar would get on fire. I don't know how fires work. I've never been in a house fire.
You don't. That's fine. Neither have I.
I was like, I don't know.
we don't know how any of the stuff. I don't know how guns work. All right, so that'll be. Since all of them are focused inside, I'll give you a controlled position with a standard effect. Because nobody is focused on outside or you right now.
Would that be, I mean, technically, I guess I don't want to be seen, so it could be finesse, but it's probably Rick.
It's your call?
I'm going to do a Rick.
Rick. All right.
So it's a, what is it? Controlled?
Controlled standard.
So it's a controlled limited.
Or considering that you use the...
Sorry, I rolled. I didn't know.
It's fine. It was a failure's a failure.
Yeah,
All
I was
right,
like, I didn't
so-
know what you're about to give me, so I was like, just rolling 2 to 3.
I was going to give you a higher effect, but it was a moot point with your 3. So, with that failure, I'm going to say, let me see, what would be a good consequence here? I don't want to... Does anyone have any ideas? What do you think a good harm would be? Give me something here. This is like pure improv.
Probably just be, I mean, it doesn't work.
I'll
I mean,
say
regardless, the house is on fire now, right?
you start well, no, she fails at starting the fire, so you use your tools and a flame erupts and it I'll say that your sleeve catches fire rather than the wood, And as you shake it off and you give just a quick gasp, one of the closest workers closest to the entrance turns and sees you and says, hey, and he whispers something to someone, and now two of them are looking at you. And you hear, and Vega, Scurlock is looking at you while you're going about this weirdness. He seems so curious. And without looking, he says, go take care of her. And the two workers turn and start walking out of the exit towards you. So you're now in a risky position.
Well, magic trick. They walk out and say, sorry, little magic trick mistake. Pull out 3 flaming balls. Start juggling them. Just a little practice while I wait.
And
I want to roll, I guess, a sway if I was going to roll for that.
okay, that'll be risky standard. Or, yeah.
6 and a 6.
Jesus.
I can't get that any other time.
All right, so that's a critical success. So even with your limited effect that you got from your harm, it's still, they still watch. You see them reaching for daggers in their pockets, and they stop. How's she not burning her hands? They just watch as you're.
I'm a little bit.
What has this turned into?
All right. So meanwhile, you got these two guys enraptured. Would you like to do anything else?
Do you want to try? And I just toss one at one of their faces.
All right, go for it. What is this going to be?
I guess finesse, because I'm throwing it.
In the midst of juggling?
Right. Would that be like?
It could. A skirmish or a wreck could be argued. A hunt for the fact that you're aiming.
I don't know if it's
Even
a
though
hunt.
it's not from a distance. You're right.
Probably being hunt. Well, it's like I don't think it's a
Oh.
hunt. As soon as you're no,
No, it's not hunt. All
I would
right.
call it a hunt. Don't go so far as to say hunt.
All right.
Skirmish, I guess.
All right. Go for it.
Risky.
That'll be risky. I'll say per your critical success, risky great.
It's a 5 and a 2.
5 and a 2. All right. So you're juggling, and these guys are like, "Oh, did you see?" Go! And as one of them just gets blasted in the face with one of these balls, and he falls back to the ground. He's like, "Oh!" His beard's like singed and like caught on fire, and he's like trying to pat it out, and the other guy's like, "Oh shit!" And he's like getting on his knees, and he's like slapping his face, trying to. And he says, "Lord Scurlock, she's not leaving."
And I want to toss the other 2 into like towards the windows.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Or back
That
on.
sounds hunty.
I'll do a hunt.
Yeah, that'll be a tough one.
That's fair.
But wait, I need the consequence is now Scurlock's like, must I do everything myself?
Is it risky standard again?
Considering that Lord Scurlock is now walking out the cellar exit, it'll be desperate standard.
I have a plan for Scurlock.
Okay, what you got?
The moment Scurlock goes to leave, I say, Scurlock! You move, the entirety of this place goes down.
He keeps walking and he says, "Bluff, that's a bluff."
Oh, yeah?
And he does hesitate. Oh, why are you all so difficult? I'm this close to just killing you and being done with it. All right, I will bite. After you roll a sway.
That was a good transition.
However, you're in the desperate position now. I'll say with the standard effect.
Desperate. Standard.
With this, I will step out now from the shadows, holding up the clicker.
All right. So go ahead and take 1 stress. Jake, you can have an extra die to your roll.
Please work! Okay.
All right. So success with the desperate effect. All right. So
You only had 1 die in Sway, my dude?
Yes.
ballsy. All right. So, with the success, Scurlock is sufficiently distracted. He stops, looks at you, then looks at Thingama. Fascinating. And Thingama, you blink, and Scurlock's face is an inch from yours, and you feel stabbing pain as his hand, like, just straight up stabs into your gut. And you're gonna take a level 3 harm unless you resist it.
I'll resist it, baby. I'm resisting it.
All right, go ahead.
Is that a prowess?
Yes.
Would you burn your armor for that instead?
I ain't got nothing, my dude. I'm no more blew my load. So prowess, right? Any bonus die? No, I just straight up. And this is 1, a 2, and a 5. Suffer.
All right. You take 1 stress, and it lowers down to a level 2 harm. As of course, as we've mentioned, Thingama is rock chiseled. He's got a. I'm not gonna say that on stream. Anyway, he's got.
Draw that fan art, baby.
He's Bradley when you need him.
So nonetheless, you turn just enough the last minute that he misses just ripping your stomach from your body. But nonetheless, his hand goes inside you and he makes eye contact with you. Sorry, I got hair in my mouth. Anyway.
That was very Scurlock of you.
Yeah, in character, like one hand, and he looks at you. I'd like to have that, please. But Barnum, his attention is no longer on you, so you have an opening.
What
do
my
you do?
goal? Oh,
What do
I'm
you do?
tossing him those balls up there. I think this was just hold my position, right?
Yes. Yeah, so at this point, it'll be risky standard.
Okay.
Unless you want to, burn the 2 stress to increase it to,
I don't have it.
whatever. Okay.
What is this, a hunt?
Yeah.
Can I take a devil's bargain? Because I don't have anything in a hunt.
Let's see, Devil's Bargain. Devil's Bargain, we could still work with the fire one because we're trying to keep her on the fire, right? So we'll say that one of the balls will fall down and light up the ground directly in front of you.
I'll take that.
All right.
So when I had 0 in something and I get a bonus die, do I need to put 2 bonus die? Because last time it only rolled 1 thing.
Yeah, it's just going to roll 1 thing.
Okay. Sorry, I'm here now.
Yeah, if you have nothing in a skill, it rolls 2 dice and takes the lower.
Okay.
So,
Well,
all right. So,
I got 3.
all right. So,
Nice.
what's up?
So you said it'll take. It doesn't matter. I got a 3.
Okay. So, I'm going to say you throw the ball into one of the windows. It's just a sticker on the wall. No, that's stupid.
No, I love that. That was so funny.
No, it straight up, these balls are like juggling balls. They're not soft balls. It doesn't smash through the window. It just kind of bounces off, comes flying back towards you like, uh-oh. And you step to the side and immediately it catches all the kindling that you had been setting up. So now there is a wall of fire just in front of you, between you and the cellar. So now for your next roll, you'd be in a desperate position. All right. Meanwhile, actually, no. Meanwhile, what are you guys doing now? Vega's got a hand in his gut. Vega seems to be setting up for a ritual to accomplish something on his own. Rosalind's tied to the ground. Your father is watching, stupefied. What's going on?
Oh God.
Did they hear like the sound of like a giant fire outside? Like, I don't know.
Oh, we'll say that the smoke filling up the cellar is definitely a notable occurrence. Scurlock, I can't give you much more for that because he failed the roll, so like your attempt at causing more, they probably wouldn't do much. Scurlock is just eyeballing Thingama, smiling. May I please get on with what I was doing? And he doesn't pull it out, he starts trying to tug it out of your hand.
I let him.
He takes it.
Because flashback!
What do you do?
I go, yeah, no, I can make it. Like, I can make a thing, but that's a lot of pressure, man. Don't, like, hand me the thing. I'll make, like, a dummy one. I'm really good at that. I'm, like, the gun didn't have bullets and so, like, here, you have the real one. I'll just make, like, a remote control without the batteries, okay?
Brilliant. Go ahead and take a stress. You can have one stress because, again, that's not a crazy out of your way occurrence. He takes it. Thank you.
I'd like to think in the midst of doing this, I have finished setting up for the ritual and I am actively performing it now.
All right.
I'll kneel down in the circle of the runes that I created and start performing these chants.
You would probably have to try to attune to the spirits around you. Now, normally in Blades in the Dark, you don't, call for the actions, but I'm trying to help push you in a direction here. So.
Oh God, I don't have anything in a tune.
No one does.
We say that we brought along Barnum's Bernard's like little totem.
Oh my God, Bernard, we haven't seen him in oh man.
He's babysitting right now.
Yeah, you can take a flashback point, stress for that flashback.
I'll take
Because
one for
that is one of your friends. But if you take the stress, you have the totem.
Well, I had said in the episode we were coming over that we grabbed it. I'm not even making that up. I really actually did. You can go back and fact check me.
Well, in that case, I guess mark off one of your load. Just any old. Here, I'll add a thing.
Vega, do you have load to take? Because if you do, then you.
I have plenty of load.
We can I could have given it. He could have it. We just.
Okay, excellent. There we go. Because I just had to work some way to.
I'm running out of load, so that's why I'm like, does Vega have load? So he has
All
it.
right.
So
All right,
what
a useful
did you
item.
get? Okay, a useful item. Got you.
There we go.
And what is this going to do for the attune?
It will give you a +1 to your roll.
Okay, so do I just have to roll for attune or roll fortune?
That'll be a tune. Oh, there's a position for this. Don't even. This will be for the sake of climax, right? And for the sake of the ritual you're doing is the same one Scurlock was about to do, albeit different. This will be desperate. Great.
I yell at him, do it!
So that's me helping.
Take a stress. And Vega gets another +1 to his roll.
So I've got +2 to this roll. Does that mean I have 4 dice total?
If you
Yeah.
have
But I have nothing in attune, so I'm gonna roll and take the lowest of the 2.
no, so that's what would happen, but now you get 2 bonus dice, so it's gonna be 2 dice.
Just 2 die, and I take the highest of the 2.
Yeah, you only
Okay.
do that. Take the lowest thing when you have 0 points in something.
Okay.
So
okay.
those extra dice basically give you 2 points in a tune.
If the
Okay.
chat right now, for this really dramatic moment, if you want to.
You don't
I'll
beg the
pause
chat.
For I'll
It's-
I
pause for
will.
dramatic effect.
You know what?
Please, chat. Aw, +1's out of stock. That's not.
Oh, you put stock on this, Edwin?
So that
The funny voice wins.
No.
It's not
Okay.
too funny.
oh wait, no, someone did. Comrade Mishka, the same person who redeemed a +1 for you in the past. It hasn't been used still.
So I have 3. I think now's as good a time as any to use it.
All right.
So 3 dice.
Vega, tell the chat
natural 6, a critical success. Oh my god.
All right, so all at once, Vega, you are not precisely a spiritual person. You haven't quite attuned to the ghost field and such in the past. However, in this circle, it's so tangible. You're doing just the motions of the ritual. You don't know what it's supposed to feel like or look like, but as you do it, you start immediately feeling a buzzing, vibrating in your body. And Scurlock has the explosive and he turns towards Vega. No! And he steps forward, but he can't get close to you. No one can get within the platform. Rosalind is in the middle of it. Her hair is now whipping. You've got like a dramatic wind effect going on in this bubble around the platform. Rosalind looks up at you, screaming over the now wind that only you two can hear, and she says, Vega, I'm scared! And she's like just tied to the down, and you can't do much. Your arms are frozen at these positions where you see the runes now all glowing one by one around you. And with this, your goal was to use the platform, yes? The ritual was to use it yourself. Yes?
In my mind. No, not in my mind. Well, yes, in my mind, because I am Vega. In my mind and in Vega's mind, I was using my own runes to perform a different ritual than what I was thinking Scurlock was going to do.
And what is that ritual to do?
To reach into the same place between life and death that Barnum went, to try and talk to Alkira, because something about what Alkira said, what Barnum told us Alkira said, rung with me and told me that I needed to go there to find out what Alkira knows about this world that we don't.
All right, so just like that, Scurlock's trying to reach forward and he can't. The workers and your father, everyone looks on, their jaws dropped in awe. The fire burns in front of you, Barnum, but the flames parts just enough for you to see Vega in the middle of this platform, wind whipping around him. Scurlock, his cape billowing. He's trying to reach forward, and Vega's gone, vanished, disappeared. And so is Rosalind. And Vega, you're in space. You think at first it's the void sea, but there's no waves, no water, no demons, no ghosts, nothing. Just expansive stars all around you. You see spiraling galaxies that are actively moving before your eyes. In the distance, you see this giant coiling snake that's completely see-through, floating in the distance beyond. And as your eyes keep following, you stop as there's just this black blot where there's no light, and it gets bigger, and you realize it's a person coming towards you rapidly. No, a person running towards you. And they immediately jump up and throw their arms around you. And they take a step back, and it looks an uncanny amount like Barnum, but it's not. It's much younger, it appears. And she smiles and she says, "It's really good to see you again, brother." And with that, we gotta end our session because we've got like 3 minutes. It's like we're at the 2-hour mark, and you know.
Edwin, beautiful storytelling. Beautiful storytelling.
Wonderful.
You guys, beautiful storytelling. You threw it. Thanks.
It's tying together so well. I love it.
I know. I don't have to tell you guys that I don't expect, or obviously I can't prepare for the shit you improv'd in the moment. That was cool. Thank you guys. Thank you, you guys rock. You guys rock so much to play with. I don't even, like, a GM dreams of getting to play with people like you in a group who are so committed and into it and trying to be just creative and big. And Paige, I know your items don't always work out, but I really appreciate how creative you get with it. Victor, you blew my mind with that Ocean's 11 plot twist of the fake trigger. I'm gonna remember that next session. Jake, you with your little stupid rune things, it was just
God, I can't believe that worked.
I love it so much. It's amazing.
with a critical success, I didn't know how it was gonna end. I thought you were gonna fight Scurlock or something, and then I watched your stress and harms just rack up, and I'm like, oh no, I've screwed them. They can't do this. Like in my head, I'm screaming, like I'm hoping Paige could get something besides a 3 on her like fire rolls, so I could have somewhere to. But I
was trying to give you a door to like save them. I was like, if I go inside, he's gonna kill me. So how do I do anything from the outside?
Every decision I made felt bad. Like each and every one felt wrong, but I just had to keep making decisions because nothing was going to go right.
I'm clipping that quote right there because that is Blades in the Dark in a nutshell. All right, so yeah, we will do XP downtime stuff next session, because we've got like a crazy high going on here. Thank you so much for watching. Lawyer, thank you for using the fun chat points in Twitch. That's new for me. This is
that was awesome.
I didn't chat is the real hero here today.
Chat, I think you're the reason we didn't die mostly.
Chat, you get XP next time also. So
Mishka is 100% the only reason I got a critical success there.
I 1000% need to make a Twitch chat character sheet. All right, so until next time, everybody, thank you so much for joining you. And someone redeemed the funny voice, so this is how I'm going to humiliate myself at the end of this beautiful dramatic moment. Thank you so much. I'm so freaking removing that option as a reward. I massively regret putting it there.
You cannot use that option.
Until next time, everyone. I hope you have a lovely week. Join us again next Thursday at 6 p.m. Central. And above all else, I very much hope you get a game in this week. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Outro.